Don't you just love that intro? When you hear that intro, you know it is your girl coming live. And this is yours truly, Jasmine D. Millhouse. And I am the CEO and founder of Purpose to Fly. And welcome back to the Fly Show, where the Fly stands for First Love You, where I interview so many amazing entrepreneurs, moms, dads, pastors, first ladies, doctors. It is so bananas in an amazing way here on the Fly Show. Thank you all so much for tuning in with me. As you're tuning in, let me know where you're watching from. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I want you to feel welcome as you're coming in. I'm on my cell phone tonight, y'all. I'm having to do something a little different that is unorthodox. But you know, when there is a will, there is a way. And whenever God wants something to happen, the devil can't do nothing to stop it. So we are going to be moving right along and getting into the show. I am excited about this interview on tonight. I am interviewing the CEO District Tribe Member of the Year herself, Mrs. Denise Henry. But not only is she a part of the phenomenal CEO District, she is a CEO, an entrepreneur. Not she is a wife. She is a mother. And most of all, she is a child of the Most High God. You hear me? When I tell you she is a sweetheart, she is so phenomenal. She is such a great friend, a prayer partner, all of that, because that's just what she do in her words. But I'm going to go ahead and get into her bio. I am going to be speaking to none other than Mrs. Denise M Henry. She is aka Healthy Mom Life. She is a bitty sick girl, a big city girl who loves the comforts of Southern living. She started her journey in health and wellness as a student at Iowa State University, and more recently as a result of working through life and challenges on her own and in her own health concerns. Denise is the mommy advocate and helps everyday moms rediscover their potential and get results in living and managing everyday life. She has the great opportunity to be a stay at home mom while pursuing her mompreneur endeavors that will bring freedom and healing to her community. Her interests include dancing, musical theater, crafting, and my lover, all things Hallmark. If you know me, I know Hallmark. Don't judge me because you don't know my story. Okay, judge yourself. She has been married to her husband, Crandon, for 13 years, and together they have a son. He is a 6 year old, and his name is Caleb. And they just recently did a big, big move. So, without further ado, it is my honor, it is my privilege to bring to you none other than Mrs. Denise M. Henry. Hi, Miss Henry.
Hi, Miss Jasmine D.
How are you?
I am okay. How are you?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Somehow it sounds real slow on my end, like it's chopped and screwed.
Okay. Is
Can
that
you hear
better?
me?
Yep, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hey Queens, hey P Angela, hey Lakeisha. I don't know if it's on my end. If it's just me, y'all let me know in the comments. If you all can hear us really good, make sure it's not distorted. Make sure the sound is good. Give us a thumbs up and let us know in the comments that you can hear us. I know you all can hear me. Miss Denise, can you say something again for me? I'm telling
Hello,
y'all, she sounds
hello.
like a chopped and screwed record.
Hello, hello. Am I chopped? Am I clear? Am I chopped? Am I clear? Am I hot or am I cold?
Hold on 1 second. Wait a minute. Me. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yep.
All right, perfect. All right. So, how are you, Miss Denise?
I'm doing pretty good. I am in a new environment, as you have already said. My husband and I made a big move this week. Um, on Sunday, we moved from Arkansas to Colorado. And so we've been here since late Sunday, adjusting to not only the environment, but to the elevation of air quality is quite different. It's real high, but I'm excited for the journey. I'm excited for the opportunity to make an impact and leave my imprint um, in this community where we are. So I'm looking forward to it all.
So tell me, okay, so speaking of, going from one elevation to another, and
Mm-hmm.
look, if y'all don't know, I'm a mama myself, so if you hear this little 2-year-old running through here, again, don't judge me, judge
Judge
yourself,
yourself.
okay? So with you, switching, changing elevations and going to, a different level basically,
Mm-hmm.
how has that really been for you? Like, what is the mindset that you had to develop in changing your whole entire life and picking up and moving to another state, another elevation, a new climate, new people? What has that
Mm-hmm.
been like for you?
So in the beginning, I wasn't fully on board. Just being really honest about it. I thought initially that the South, not necessarily Arkansas, but the South would be our forever place. Kind of like my bio said, I'm a big city girl who enjoys the comforts of Southern living and Southern hospitality, and that's what I thought. And so when my husband had the opportunity to work for the university here, I was excited for him. I was happy for him because it was time for a shift. It was time for a change in his career. Um, and so when he told me where we were going and where he had accepted the position, I immediately told him, I was like, okay, I'll see you in April or May. I'll wait till all the snow clears. I'll wait till all the cold is gone, and I'll meet you. And so that was my initial thought, and that was my initial mindset. But then um, things shifted. I began to think about the newness of where we were going. I began to think about the goals that I had for our family, for my son's health, and we can get into that a little bit later. I started to think about, um, where my husband go, I will go, I will follow. And I told him that early on, when we first started, dating and getting really serious, and then got married. Your family is my family. Your people are my people, and we're going to create this life together, and we're going to build this life together. And so I had to get out of my own personal self and what I really wanted and what I really desired, and be open to what I believe was a God thing and was a God move, and was God inspired. And so it's one of those things, and let me be clear, it wasn't necessarily one of those God said go kind of things, but it was one of those situations where we knew God was with us, and we knew that the world was our oyster of opportunity and desire, if that makes any sense.
And in like, and again, I do apologize because my audio for some reason is like really dragging.
Okay.
So if I do happen to ask a question, that you kind of covered a little bit,
Yeah.
I do apologize. But I do
No
want
worries.
to ask you,
Mm-hmm.
being a part of, just kind of diving in, just being awarded of, we're gonna jump to CEO real quick, okay?
Okay.
I had to do it. First of all,
Mhm.
congratulations for being honored, at our CEO conference, this past weekend, and being surprised. It was
Yeah.
fun for me. I
Yeah.
love, honoring women, especially, when they're doing everything that they can. They're true to themselves, true to who they are, true to life, and true to their purpose. Not doing the extra, but just walking into a room and being themselves and not trying to take up and be anyone else. I love that and I honor that. So for you, what was that experience like, being honored and knowing that everything that you do, I know you already know everything you do has a purpose and you're touching many people, but to
Mhm.
be honored in such a way by, the fellow ladies of the CEO district, what was that like for you in that moment?
First and foremost, utter shock, obviously. When I started to hear my bio, I was like, man, that sounds like my bio. And then I listened a little bit more. I was like, OMG, that is my bio. And I turned and looked at my friend, Shanika, who was with me, and I said, oh my God. And it just completely took me aback because I wasn't expecting it at all. I do what I do in life and for the CEO district because I have a love for women. I have a passion to love on women and mothers and entrepreneur and women who are entrepreneurs. And so to be honored in that way was it really blessed my heart and it blessed my soul. And you guys got me again for the second time in within a few months of each other. And I was like, how did they do this again? Because if you ask my husband, it's really hard to surprise me because I have questions. I'm always asking questions. I'm always like aware of stuff that's kind of going on around me and that deals that that kind of includes me. Like it's really hard for him to surprise me for my birthday and special events and things like that. Because I'm gonna ask questions and I'm gonna like probe and see what's really going on. And so for you guys to get me twice within a few months, the first time you got me was at the CEO meetup, and my husband again and Pete Angela colluded together to get me a photo shoot and just do extra pictures at the CEO meetup in Miami. And so it was just it was unbelievable. I got home and I told my husband, I said, I think this is the first time ever in my life that I've received like a physical plaque that, of achievement. Like I've gotten, certificates, I've gotten like, medals. I ran track. And so I've had medals and different things like that. But this is the first time that I've actually got something like really big and physical like that. And I was just taken aback by it. And I was in tears and I was trying to compose myself, but it was really hard because the pure emotion of sacrifice and of love was reciprocated and a blessing was reciprocated and it was a great night. It was a fun night and it was good. It was just all good.
So for me, in that moment, just I'm kind of like, Keisha, just seeing that moment and just being in the room brought to, if you had dry eyes, you're not human, okay? Because when I turned around, when I knew it was coming, I was like, okay, and I did like this in my chair. I was like, here we go,
I
here
saw
we
that.
go, and
I
you was
saw
like,
that.
all right,
Yeah, yeah.
and your whole entire face just switched. Those are the moments that I live for, not only in just, the CEO community, but just period, to be able to know that I had a hand in honoring such a deserving person, such a deserving mom, such a deserving entrepreneur, such a deserving wife. Hey, Miss Ilyasa, thank you so much for joining in. So, moving forward, give us the breakdown and tell us about Healthy Mom Life and how did you come up with the Healthy Mom Life? And tell us about that.
Okay, for sure. So healthy mom life um has been stirring for quite some time now, for years. I've wanted to combine my passion of being a mother. I wanted to combine my compassion passion for healthy living and eating well, and I wanted to combine my passion for enjoying life. And so I played around with so many different um, business names. I was just trying to put this together and put that together. Some that sounded completely horrible that I will not name. But I just continue to just pursue my passions. And as I pursue my passions of healthy living and of mom life and of enjoying life, it began to kind of form organically. And you just had that I had just had that aha moment, and I was just sitting on my, I was just sitting on my couch. I tend to get a lot of my ideas on my couch, from couch conversations with myself, with my husband, with God, with friends. And so I just had that aha moment, and it's like, it came healthy mom life. Like that's it. Like that's going to be your business, and that's going to be your ministry. And so, a part of that too was I started to deal with some health issues, that I ignored for quite some time. You know, the scale doesn't care about what size you are. You know what I mean? And it doesn't care about um, what you're putting in your body. I should say even better. Like it doesn't care about your gut health. It doesn't care about how your skin looks. The scale doesn't care about you know the stomach aches and the headaches and just different things that go on that we don't see in the scale. And so that's what happened with me. I was eating clean, I was eating well, but I was having digestion issues. And so with that, I had to really look at um, how I wanted to live. I wanted to look, am I going to satisfy my taste buds, or am I going to, and have stomach issues later? Or am I going to really look at my whole self, my whole body, and give it the attention that it needs? So I decided a little over a year and a half ago to go vegetarian, to have a vegetarian lifestyle, um, with seafood mixed in, so a little bit of pescatarian. And from that decision, I've been feeling great. I've been feeling good. My energy levels up. Like I have more, even when on my most hard days and tending to my son, my energy level is still better. I've been taking more supplements, um, to help get all the nutrients and different things that I need for that. And so it has been a journey, and I'm glad that I decided not to ignore my body anymore. That's one of the first things that I tell women who I talk to when they're talking about, having health issues or having health frustrations. It's like we have to listen to our bodies. We have to be able to acknowledge and recognize when our bodies are telling us something like, girl, why did you eat that? You're about to be feeling some kind of way in like 10 minutes. Or, digestion. For me, it was digestion. And so, listening to my body and really submitting to what my body needed versus what I wanted to give it, was key in helping me walk this journey out of having, being a person of wellness and wholeness.
And that is so key for basically everyone, because you want to make sure what you're putting in, is beneficial to you internally. Because for myself, I had to really take a look at the things that I was doing for me. And it was not, in a very beneficial way. It caused a lot of physical anguish to my body.
Hmm.
I was retaining fluid.
Yeah.
I had, high blood pressure. Like my blood pressure was like 180, 190 over,
Wow.
90, it's like high.
Wow. Yeah.
And I went to the doctor, one day, and my mother, my mother-in-law, she was like, "So you're retaining fluid because you look really, really swole." I'm like, "Okay, no, I'm just fluffy." She was like, no, ma'am. Fluffy is one thing. Swole is a whole nother one." She was like, no,
Yeah.
it's a
Hmm.
difference. Get it together. So I
Hmm.
went to the doctor. I'm like, okay, I'll just go to the doctor. Went to the doctor, and how I didn't know, me being naive, I pushed my finger into my calf. No, my shin. Your shin
Mm.
ain't in the bone, right?
Right.
And my finger indention was in my shin and stayed there.
Oh,
And
wow.
yes, my doctor was like,
Huh.
so are you trying to die, or or what? Because I
Wow.
just I just want to know like what you're doing, you know what I mean? Because
Mhm.
you're doing something, you killing yourself. Like, what are you doing? So
Mhm.
I had to take a look at the decisions that I was making in my life for my health, and do something different, because it was what I was doing. I was killing myself. It was not getting me anywhere. I'm sorry, I'm leaning. I'm trying to find my plug, honey. I ain't on my computer, so I'm trying to plug it in for it.
Do what you
Die.
need to do.
I had to be innovative. Okay,
Right?
I was on the phone trying to find me a computer. We in here,
We are
but
in here together.
so do for me, I had to. And then when I got to the when I got to the doctor, I'm thinking, okay, yeah, you a little fluffy, and that's it. 325 pounds.
Wow.
Okay,
Mhm.
325. And I had to start. I wasn't drinking any water. I wasn't incorporating like no vegetables where. And if I did, it would be full of ham, seasoned like grandma used to do,
Yep.
like I need some fat meat in my food. So those practices of from what I was doing for me was literally killing me,
Yeah.
and so starting to take a different approach to my nutrition and looking at becoming a healthier mom, because I'm like, I have 3 children I want to be here for. I have
Right.
things that I want to accomplish. I have stuff that I want to do, so I have to make sure that I'm doing the right thing for me, so that
Mhm.
I can be here for the things that I want to do. I have a
Yeah,
purpose, and I can't, you know, not saying it can't be done, but you want to be healthy living out your purpose. You see what I mean?
for sure.
So, what are some of the things that you incorporate being a mom for your son, trying to live and be healthy in his eating, and not saying, okay, here you go, baby, get you some candy, fill up on this sugar, just to keep you quiet. Like, how have you been able, or what have you been able to incorporate in your daily, regimen with him to be on a healthier level as well?
Okay, so the first thing I want to say before I get started with that question and answering that question is um, health and wellness is not just fruits and veggies. That's what I tell a lot of people. A lot of times we think it's just fruits and veggies, but health and wellness goes beyond that. It's
Mm-hmm.
literally a spirit, soul, and body transformation. You can't have one without the other,
Mm-hmm.
because if you are mentally and emotionally distraught and unstable, that can lead to you eating emotionally, you eating out of anger and frustration or worry or doubt or fear. And then and so when you add all of those things together, you as a person, your whole self, your soul self, is then disrupted, and you're
Mm-hmm.
off balance, you're off center. There's a terminology in the dance world, especially in ballet, is find your center. And so we have to literally find our center of who we are, of our issues, of our frustrations. Find the center of why we do what we do. Why do we eat this versus eating that? And when we can get to the center, when we can get to the core and figure those things out, that's when the transformation can start to happen, because we've dealt with not only the emotion, we've dealt with the mind, and now the body can then follow. Because the body is only the body, and how we treat it is a result of what we're doing mentally and emotionally and spiritually and different things like that. So I want to get
That is.
that tidbit out there. And so to answer the question a little bit more, so my son is dealing with his own medical challenges, and currently is not eating table foods, and so he's being fed by G tube, and so a lot of his meals are liquid and different things like
Okay.
that.
Okay.
But for my husband and I, um, we have very different eating habits, in that he's still eating a good steak. Okay.
Yeah.
He's still eating a good steak right now. And sometimes I look at him like, man, that sure look good, but I'm not trying to have any problems. I'm not trying to have no problems the next day.
Right.
But and so managing that, it has been a very interesting task this last year and a half. My husband eats, pretty clean as well, and so his what his body needs and what his body needs to thrive is very different from mine. And so
Right.
in our daily life, I'm still cooking vegetables, I'm still cooking steak, I'm still cooking um grains and different things like that, but how I cook them has changed quite a bit as far as um so most people that I know in my family, we are, when we do cabbage or greens or different things like that, a lot of times we're boiling them, right? um, Oftentimes that can suck the nutrients out of those kind of greens. So what I've decided to do and what I have done is to actually roast or bake my cabbage or my greens or saute them. And then in that way, that flavor is still there. The nutrients is still there. And then you just add a little bit of oil. I still cook with butter, but not as much. But now I'm using oils. I'm using pure and organic olive oils. I'm using grapeseed oil. Um, Grapeseed oil is good, especially when you're cooking things on a high heat kind of
Mm-hmm.
situation, like stir fry and different things like that. I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing that. And so I'm getting crisp, clean vegetables and other foods that help not only digest well, but it tastes good as well. Like you can eat clean and eat well and still taste good.
You
I
can.
Yeah, yeah, it's not as hard as we believe it to be.
Mm-hmm.
I have found that it's more about, are you willing to make that little adjustment
Mm-hmm.
to come out on the other side of what you used to do. It's all about habits. It's all about that mindset and changing your habits. Like you don't have, I tell people to set some small goals. If you know you're cooking, ham 5 days a week, maybe instead of cooking it 5 days a week, you cook it 2 days a week. You know what I mean? Like it's
Right.
sometimes it's not always about not eating the fatty stuff and
Mm-hmm.
the quote unquote bad stuff. It's about how you cook it. It's about how you do it. Um, and so that's what I do for my family. And when I have people over, I let them know like, hey, this is how the Henrys eat. Um, if you feel like you need to bring a little extra something, that's fine. But this is how we eat. I've learned to substitute you
Mm-hmm.
know, uh, pastas. Instead of having just regular pasta, I'll, find pastas that are vegetable based, like lentils, chickpeas, different things like that. They have out there some a variety of veggie type pastas and different things like that that are good. Now, some of them are not. I have had to experiment. Okay, I've had to experiment to get to where I am today to find what works for me and my family. And I
Right.
do the same thing when I'm working with families and women and different things like that. I do what works for them. I don't want to change your lifestyle and make it my life and change your lifestyle and make it mine. I want it to be
Mm-hmm.
yours. And that's the thing that I tell people, like I'm not trying to change you into me. I'm trying to change you into a better you and a
Right.
better family unit.
Right. And I think, again as well, that also is a good thing to look at because we can also often sometimes go into an area and judge people based upon, okay, I'm living a healthy life. Ooh, you eating fried chicken. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
it makes you seem as if you're trying to be better than everyone, because you're in the vegan lifestyle or you're
Hmm.
choosing a different path. Don't look down or shun anyone for what they're doing. And in saying that, you kind of had a very key thing, when inviting and having friends over to your home, saying, hey, this is how we do it here. We eat, Brussels sprouts, and if that's not your thing, bring what do you like. And how helpful has that been for your stress level when having events and parties and friend gatherings and stuff like that?
Hmm. Most of the time they're open. My friends and family are open. Before we moved, and not this year, but years previous, we every year except for this year, we have Friendsgiving during Thanksgiving. And, I would tell friends like, hey, this is what's on the menu. This is what we're looking at. What would you like to contribute? And
Mhm.
so everyone is always open to trying, the things that I make because, first of all, they believe I'm a good cook, and I believe I am too. I think I do that really well. And so they're always willing to try it. And sometimes they're not. And that's okay. Like I don't want you to eat something that you're not, excited about, or that you're not quite sure about. It's completely fine. And so having that support of friends and family who are willing to try some of the different things that I make has made it easier. My stress level about like, okay, I have to feed this person, I have to feed that person this, and I have to do that. That no longer exists. Like I just, I adjust, and of course I look out for allergies. First
Mhm.
and foremost, like, okay, do you have any allergies? Like my husband, he cannot eat melons of any kind. Yeah,
Really?
no melons of any kind. And so I have to make sure when I'm making, not guacamole, but when I'm making my corn salsa, I have to make sure I don't put mango in it. I have to make sure I don't put certain things in it. He doesn't eat guacamole at all. And so I just make a separate salsa, like a tomato based salsa for him
Mhm.
and other people who have allergies in my circle. And so it has become easier to just put it on the table and at the forefront.
Mhm.
It's been easier to just give the information and let people decide for themselves what they want to do. Um,
Mhm.
I feel like anytime we go out to dinner or anything like that, I always can find something to eat. It's not hard for me to find something to eat on the menu. And a lot of people think that too. Like when you go out to restaurants, you'll have a hard time figuring it out, and you really don't. It's just a matter of paying attention to what, and then sometimes asking. Like if you ask the restaurant about certain things, they can do it. They can alter it to make it, friendly for your eating lifestyle. But you have to be open to asking too. So
That's true. You
yeah,
know what's so crazy? Just doing this right here, I would be, and this is how I first started.
yeah,
Going out to a restaurant, you see the pasta list, you see the fried fish, you see the salad list, you see the steaks and the chicken tenders, the kids' meal, wines and spirits, and all that stuff. And
right,
I'm like, okay, where's the salmon and the broccoli? Can I just get that?
right,
Not knowing that I had the opportunity to say, hey, do you have this? Can I just get that?
right,
And being scared to ask that question, like, no, and then it ends up you end up settling for something that you really didn't want or shouldn't have anyway
right,
because you don't ask.
right.
um has that ever been a factor for you with being fearful of asking for what you want in your lifestyle?
I've dealt with that over a period of time in my life, and I sometimes deal with it even now as a mom. Like sometimes I don't always know how to ask for help, as a mom. Um, and I didn't, and it was really interesting when I first had my son and we were in the NICU with him. People were always asking, what can we do? What can we do? How can we help him? In my head, I'm like, can you can't do what I'm wanting you to do. You can't do what I'm needing, which is,
Right.
wholeness and healing for my kid, right? And so in
Mhm.
my head, I'm like, well, you can't really do anything for me. But
Yeah.
then as I began to kind of just kind of process that question and ask myself, what do I really need as a mom right now? What do I need as for Denise? Like not even just as a mom, what does Denise need? And I had to begin to be okay with saying, hey, can you go to the store and grab this for me? Especially because I'm a stay-at-home mom and I can't travel with my son by myself. It has to be two of us because of his medical needs.
Right.
I had a hard time just calling up a girlfriend or even my husband and saying, "Hey, can you bring home this? Can you bring over this?" Um, because I didn't want to interrupt their day. I didn't want to interrupt, what they had going on, and so, but I also didn't want to be frustrated that I didn't have what I needed,
Mhm.
even if it was just for for a small little thing, as some toilet paper or whatever the case may be. And I think a lot of stay-at-home moms who are in a situation like me, who can't always just get all the kids together, even moms who have multiple, sometimes it's harder to try to wrangle all the kids together.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to wring them all together and then go to the store when you can just say, hey, girlfriend, hey, where you at? Can you just pick me up a gallon of milk and bring it to my house? I can't get out the house with these kids right now. You know what I
Right.
mean? That kind of thing, I realize that moms deal with on a regular basis. And so that's a part of, again, healthy mom life, is tending to the mom and tending to what she needs in a manner that makes her feel like she can ask for help, she can be herself, and still, um, live life and not just be a mom. Like she can, feel good about just being her. And that's one of the goals of healthy mom life. I still want, I want women to still feel like themselves, because there was a period when I didn't feel like myself. I wasn't myself. Um, and when I was dealing with my son and different things like that, I put myself on the back burner. I
Mm-hmm.
put everything that I feel like I wanted to do on the back burner for him, and for my family and different things like that. And I had to remember that I have desires, I have goals, I have dreams, I have visions that God gave me, and I can't just let them sit dormant because I'm dealing with a storm. I'm dealing with craziness right now. I have to rise up, like Lazarus. I have to get up and I have to come forth. And so a part of healthy mom life is helping everyday moms come forth in their most beautiful natural state.
Wow. You better come on here and get his mission statement real quick on F.L.Y Show. You heard it here first. Look, because the way I see it, because I was that one. I was a
Mhm.
single mom for a while, and at one point, it was like hard to feed, my children, not working or not having enough income, just enough. You have more month than you have money, things like that,
Mhm.
and
Right,
you run out of money and your refrigerator still look a little empty, and you like,
right.
okay, I don't know what we're gonna do, but God, you make a way. And
Hmm.
those ways were made, but I had to break out of being. I was prideful. No,
Hmm.
I ain't gonna ask nobody for no help because I don't want nobody to look at me funny. Like,
Hmm.
I'm not strong enough to handle my own, stuff like that. We have to learn how to get out of our own way and
Yes.
know that asking for help doesn't make you weak. It actually makes you stronger than you think. It takes
Hmm.
a very strong person to say, hey, I need you to help me. I
Hmm.
need you to bring me, like what you said, that gallon of milk, a box, a bag of brown rice and some black beans and a can of tomatoes. Can you bring that to me tonight? Like we
Yeah.
have to know that asking for help is a part of our actually is a part of our I say it's a part of our DNA. It's a
Yeah.
part of our makeup. Being prideful is not who you were, meant to be. Pride
Right.
is pride is like fear. You wasn't sent here with it. And
Yeah.
that's you develop and picked up along the way. While
Yeah.
you was on your journey, you became, okay, I got this far by myself and I'm gonna continue to go the rest of the way by myself. And I don't
Yeah.
need nobody, or I don't want nobody looking at me like I can't do nothing. And then you get this sense of arrogance, like can't nobody help me, or I can do this on my own. But honestly, sometimes, sis, I'm gonna tell you, you need help.
Right.
And it is okay to sit down somewhere, cross your legs in the middle of the floor, crisscross applesauce, sad, crying, and saying, you know what, I'm tired of being the strong one in this.
Hmm.
I want to show my strength in this sense. I
Yeah.
want to show a different side of my strength to say, Denise, look, I got two braids underneath this wig. Can you do look? Can you look? We gonna rock with this today, okay?
Right.
Just like this live started, I'm on live and I'm hearing, you sound like you on a chop and screw record. You going slow, and I'm like, okay, God, there gotta be enough. help me. We
Right.
we have to exude strength, and
Mm-hmm.
in a way where you sometimes you will get flustered, but know that you don't remain flustered. Use that
Yeah.
moment to say, okay, what can I use in a different way? How can I look? Okay, I'm looking left. I need to look right. And
Mhm.
right, boom, that you got a ram in the bush. You know,
Yeah.
you finna get
Yep.
sacrificed. You know, you burnt and
Come
you
on.
tied on the fire, and the
Right.
wood is at your feet, and you finna
Yeah.
get sliced up. And they go a ram in the bush because you laid down your pride.
Yeah.
And in healthy mom life, and not just that, but for Denise life,
Mm-hmm.
how has your self care been for you
Yeah.
amongst everything that you're going through? You know, being a mom, being a wife, being a business owner, you know, doing so many multiple things. What does your self care look like?
So this mantra I've picked up a while ago, and I've talked about it before, but it's called Stop, Drop, and Roll.
Mm,
And that has kind of what that's what I quietly repeat to myself a lot of times when there's just a lot going on. Is to stop, drop, and roll. Stop worrying, because when you worry, you're not creating answers. When you're worrying, you are looking at the problem, being bigger than the solution. And so I've learned to stop worrying. And I've never really been a worrier per se. But there are moments when I get worried. I get very concerned about the things of my life, whether it's my son, myself, my husband, where we are, that kind of thing. And so I've had to just kind of stop, and I usually try to stop myself from spiraling in those thoughts of worry and concern and frustration.
mm,
The other part of that is drop. Oftentimes I'll drop what I'm doing and just take a break. Breaks are really important when you're dealing with children. We have nap, I'm a former preschool teacher, so we had nap time, we had quiet time, we had outside recess time from being inside. We have to take those breaks to kind of give ourselves the opportunity to refresh, to reflect, to renew, to revive ourselves so that we can go back to the task at hand with a fresh perspective, with a fresh mind, with a better attitude. Um, and that kind of thing. And then the last one is roll with it. Sometimes you just have to roll with what's coming and what's going on. You can't always, I don't think you always have a plan for everything that may go array or awry.
mm,
And so sometimes as things come up, you have to roll with it. Um, Even with this move, we weren't sure that we were going to have our friends help us drive. And so we were making plans to, like, okay, are me and Caleb gonna fly and we'll meet Crandon there, or is this person gonna drive with us? And so we were rolling with the plan as it unfolded, as it began to figure things out. We had to take multiple stops and
mm,
just different things like that. Some things didn't work out the way that we had planned them to, i.e., our packers came on Friday, this past Friday, to help pack our things. And when they got there, um, we thought we were helping them. We had started packing things ourselves, and we had like boxes and boxes packed. And they went into the room where we had the boxes packed, and they said, "We're gonna have to undo all these boxes and look through them and repack them again." Yeah, like, because of the contract that they had and the way that they do things,
right.
they had to physically pack our things and physically make sure that everything was accounted for as far as weight. And they couldn't pack liquids. We had packed liquids and they can't carry liquids. So we had to kind of just, stop what we were doing and like take all the liquids out, organize this, organize that. Okay, this can't go, that can't go. And so we were like, oh, okay. What we thought we weren't going to be doing, we had to do, which was separate liquids and make sure this was able to go and that was able to go. And so you can't plan for those kind of things. And so
Mm-hmm.
you have to learn how to roll with it. You have to learn how to pivot and just move as swiftly as you can to have a new solution as swiftly as you can. And so
Yeah.
that's what I try to do every single day, is to stop, drop, and roll in my day, in my week, in my month, so that I'm not overwhelmed. I'll leave and I'll drive. Sometimes I'll pick up a candy bar at the store, to take care of myself. I'll make sure that taking a shower, taking a bath sometimes rejuvenates me. It's so many different things. I'll do a craft, I'll sing a song, whatever it is in that moment that I feel like I need to do to just kind of feel like myself again is what I
Mhm.
do. So it's a
Right.
variety of things. Or I watch a
Yeah.
good Hallmark movie.
Out.
Indeed.
Listen.
Winter, spring, summer, fall.
And
I'm
fall.
watching one. Yeah,
Hallmark. Okay.
yeah, yeah,
My, my girl. That's what
yeah,
I'm talking about. Look,
yep.
speaking of Hallmark, let me ask you a very important question. Okay.
Yeah,
So, and this is gonna be kind of like a twist question, but
sure.
in the Hallmark world, you have the story: boy meets
Mhm.
girl, they break each other heart, they meet somewhere down the line,
Yeah,
plot,
yeah,
end of the movie, they get back together, fall in
yeah,
love, mwah, 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 right?
yeah, yep.
How important is it for you to know and how to separate your personal life from
Mm.
that fantasy that you see on TV
Mm.
every day?
Yeah, that's really important. Because I am a romantic. But for me, I have maintained the balance and the line by realizing that it is a movie. It is a script. They are literally getting paid to do and say what is on the script.
Hmm.
It's created, right? And so knowing that some of the things in there is created, no doubt from people's personal experiences, I get that, because when you break up, you don't always get back together, And so being grounded in what's reality and what works for you, and separating what works from you from what is going on TV is really important too. And then also having conversation, like some of the things in the Hallmark movies, I'm like, that's me. I like that. I
Right.
love that. Let's do that. And
Yeah.
so my husband, I'm the Christmas fanatic of the two of us. And so I'm always about, like, let's get the tree lights going. Let's get this going. Let's have our, fire going. Let's have our stockings. Let's have, matching this, matching that. We're going to watch Hallmark movies, from the end of October all the way through. And we have a deal in in my family right now. My husband and I, we have a deal that he watch for every wrestling show that I watch. He has to watch that many Hallmark movies. So if I watch um like 4 or 5 like main events in wrestling, that's how many movies he'll watch um during Christmas season. And that works
Okay.
for us, right? And
Right.
so you have to figure out what works for you. If you have a spouse, male or female, who's not a Christmas fanatic and doesn't really do Hallmark or Lifetime, like, figure out how you can make it work. And so that works for us. This year, I was only supposed to get him to watch 4 Hallmark movies, but he lost the bet, and so we added a fifth. And so he watched 5 Hallmark movies with me this season. And so it was good. It was, he knows the storyline as well. They're predictable for the most part, but
Right.
because we love each other, because we want to support one another in the things that we like,
Hmm.
and different things like that, we make that choice to work our marriage in ways that are fun, that
Hmm.
are fabulous, and that are freeing. So, and it's a continual process because we're always changing and evolving. What worked
Yeah.
at 22 doesn't necessarily work at 32. And
Hmm.
so, you gotta roll with it. For
Roll,
real.
roll with it.
Roll with it.
Stop, look, stop whatever you was doing. Drop that mindset, and we're gonna roll with what's going on over here. Because
Mhm.
and that is such a key thing, because we sometimes don't realize and understand that as the time and the years go by, so does your maturity level.
Mhm.
And it is up to you to be able to apply the wisdom that you gain from different experiences, different times in your life, and apply it as you get older,
Yeah,
and be able to say, because I went through this and I conquered that, I'm able to have this mindset in this, in this situation. And it
yeah,
doesn't cause you to overreact in certain things. It doesn't cause you to, look at people any kind of way or say things that you may regret one day, and different things like that.
yeah,
How important is being true to you? How important is being truthful to you? Because you got to be honest with yourself in different situations.
yeah.
How important is that to you? Like, just, Denise, look, this is what you're doing. Come
Hmm.
on, let me talk to you. Having
Yeah,
that mirror talk and
yeah.
to yourself, and give yourself that word. How important is that for you?
It's really important, and I think having the accountability first and foremost with my husband, and then with other women who have allowed to speak into my life. Um, I don't know if you caught the broadcast, all of the broadcasts from Tuesday night with Coach Piangela and Daryl, but I was very transparent in letting people know that those areas that I fall short in as it relates to respecting and loving my husband. And one of those areas is cutting him off when he speaks and when he talks and not letting him get his full thoughts out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I had to really come to grips with why I did that and why, and why was it like a continuous thing. And so for me, I had to come to face myself of I do it because I'm frustrated or I feel threatened there, I feel attacked, all these different feelings and whatnot and thoughts and what that means to me. And so I had to take all of those emotions and feelings and bring them, into some kind of order, because it's regardless of how I may feel about it, or if I'm doing it out of a defense mechanism, it's still not healthy for us as a couple. It still doesn't work. And so
Right.
having to, and then a lot of times, um, it wasn't it wasn't to disrespect him, but us women, we can talk and have good banter back and forth, interrupting each other with no problem, and everybody's cool. But we're just created a very different way
Mm-hmm.
whereby that just doesn't work for us. And so I really had to, and still am, because I have my moments when I just, I'll be like, yep, I just cut you off. Yep, I sure did. Hmm.
You being
And
petty.
yeah, I'm recognizing it a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
But I also know that I have to be also aware of the consequence of interrupting him. He'll either shut down, stop talking, or he'll get even more agitated and offended and different things like that. And
Right.
then that's even more of a breach that I have to make up for and reconcile. And so I try to look at again the pros and cons of doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Also the other part to that, and the flip part of that, is him realizing that um, when he's talking to me and how he's talking to me does matter too, and how I receive and perceive things that are coming from him. And so I think it's a continual accountability of, okay, am I talking to her in a way that creates the space for her not to cut me off? And am I, and just that whole back and forth of and
Yeah.
thought and figuring things out. So
Yeah. And
like,
what's
which came first, the egg or the chicken? It's like, I cut you
yeah.
off because you did this, or I did this and then I cut you. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff is just like,
Mhm.
does that really matter? But how do we just get through it? How do we fix it? How do we work through that?
Yeah, yeah. It's all in the work through. It's all
Hmm.
it's all yeah, it's all in that work through that helps you get to, and continuing to grow, not
Yeah.
only with yourself but each other as well.
Hmm.
And for you, just kind of, you developing, in different areas in your life and growing in different areas in your life daily.
Yeah.
What is next for you with the healthy mom life? Like, what do you have going on right now and what's coming up?
Yeah, so I'm revamping Healthy Mom Life just a little bit. Um, I really want to focus more on the family unit a little bit more because that is my background. My background is child, adult, and family service. I realize that the mom, in a lot of cases, she's like the starting point, the nucleus, but but it extends way beyond that. And so um, I believe it's kind of like I believe that when I can, help the mom be the best mom she can be, she'll, and give her the tools that she needs to be the best mom, best person she can be, that then can extend out towards the rest of the family. Because I feel like there is some truth to the, if mom ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. I feel like
Mm,
there's some truth to that. Um, and how just family dynamics operate, especially with a single parent household and different things like that, or a mom who just, even though the husband or the dad is present, the responsibility of the children is a little bit more weighted with the mom and different things like that. And
mhm.
so, Healthy Mom Life will definitely be creating a situation where not only mom gets what she needs, but everyone else gets what they need through, family consulting and strategies and plans and different things like that. I'm also planning a mommy's day brunch here in Fort Collins. It's a way for me to begin to be a part of the community that I'm in. And so I have started, the thought process of doing a mommy's day brunch or lunch coming up. Hopefully, the plan is in May. And so I'm getting my goals. Yeah, I'm getting my goals. I'm getting my vision written down. I'm getting, connections and thoughts together and how to pull that off because I'm going to need a whole lot of hands on deck because I'm working on, building community and resources here where I am. So that is what is next, right at this immediate moment for Healthy Mom Life. I want to do things that are quality. I just want to do things that just to do them, So if I have an event, in May and I don't have another one for like maybe another few months, I'm okay with that as long as the impact and the quality is there. I want those results to be there.
Right.
Um, so I want that, and I want that substance to be there. And so I figure if I give myself time to adjust to where I am, give myself a few months, by May, April, May, I should be ready to just really launch out and really thrive here with Healthy Mom Life.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
I'm
And
excited. But
I look forward to, seeing the things that you're going to be embarking upon, the journey that you're about to launch into,
mhm.
because you are a force to be reckoned with. Okay,
Thank you.
don't let her size fool y'all, cause this little mighty lady right here, this little mini lady right here, is a very mighty woman. Okay, let me tell you that. She is a very you are a very powerful woman, and I've always since the first day I met you, I'm like,
Mhm.
I gotta step my game up. Denise Henry,
Oh my God.
let me, let
Oh,
me adjust myself, to act like I got
fix my collar, check out
right,
the
act like I
earrings.
got some sense. Let me make sure my hair laid down, my edges is slick, cause
Yeah.
he is not playing. No, you literally, you are the life wherever you go. Let me just say that you are your light. You bring your light wherever you go, whatever door you walk in, whatever building you walk in, whoever car you driving, street you walking down, you are the light wherever you go. And I just want to say to continue to shine in who you are. Never apologize for who you were created to be, because it is so many women out here that are looking at you and following the things that you're doing, and just respect you on such a high level and has such a high regard for who you are and your purpose and the things that you're bringing to the community. So I greatly appreciate you for spending this moment here on the Fly Show with
Woo,
me.
girl, come
I
on now.
greatly appreciate it. I love you dearly. You are such a
Yes,
dear friend to me. And even if we don't talk for a couple days, a couple weeks, I
yes.
always check in. Hey Denise, how you
You
doing? I'm
do. You
doing
have
good.
it, and
How
I
are
so
you?
appreciate that for sure.
Yes.
It's been an honor to get to know you, um, and not just be the face and the name. It has been good to just see you in person and just have those mini conversations. Sometimes those mini conversations is all you need to kind of snatch you back and get you, give you that jump start that you need to propel yourself. Like a lot of times I feel like we wait for that big thing. We're waiting for that big moment, that big aha. And sometimes it's a lot of, and many times for me at least, it's in those small jump starting kind of situations that I find that relief. I find that peace. I find that word that I need. And it's very simple. I'm all about simple elegance. Like for a nice part of my college years and the things that I was doing in my college years and early young adult years was like simplicity, simple elegance, simple just this. And getting back to that has been really, really great for me to realize that I can plan life and I can move in life, but also just to let life be what it's going to be as well has been very freeing for me to not get tied up in the plans because many other plans of a man's heart, but the Lord's purpose prevails, and I want to make sure that God's purpose prevails in everything that I do as a mom, as an entrepreneur, as a wife, as a community member. Um, as a CEO community member, um, and that's really what it's about for me. It's all about that purpose coming through and making sure that at the end of the day, when I'm like, 90 or whatever age I want to be when I'm ready to go and from this place, I want to be able to say, you did that, girl. You lived a well life, you lived a full life, you lived a beautiful life, you enjoyed your life. I don't want to have any regrets. And so I'm thankful that I get to shade in Colorado on my map of visiting all 50 states before I leave this earth is one of my goals. And so I'm thankful that I get the opportunity to shade that in on my map that I have been keeping for some time now.
Come on, bucket list.
Yeah.
Worldwide household name coming soon.
Yes, ma'am.
Well,
Yes,
you keep on your journey. You don't, again, don't quit, don't give up. Whatever you need, I am here,
yes. Thank
anytime.
you.
And that was my basically. You just kind of answered my last question. What would be, that one piece of advice that you would give someone in going on this journey? And you
Yeah.
just basically summed it up right there.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for being again here on the Fly Show. I greatly appreciate your time. Greatly
Yes.
appreciate Mr. Crandon for giving you to us for the last hour. So I hope you
Great.
enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you all so much to everyone that tuned in here on the Fly Show. You can catch
Yes.
me here every single Wednesday at 8 p.m. I had to push it back a little bit today, but that's all right. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Facebook. I look forward to seeing you next week. Have a happy holidays, Merry Christmas,
Merry
and all of
Christmas.
that. And
Thank
we gonna be
you.
back here
You
next
play
Wednesday.
fly, Miss Jasmine D. Millhouse.
Absolutely. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yes,
And you
ma'am.
all stay fly as well. And remember to first love you because you absolutely deserve it. Good night. And I'll see you all next week.
See
Bye.
you. Bye.